Hey language lovers, this is Milagros Hugueto de Sánchez, profe de mente y corazón. I'm happy to see you. However, I have to tell you about the day in which the small gym became my classroom because they sent 10 classes to me. Stay tuned. Watch what happened.
Este es el podcast Profe de Mente y Corazón, quien les habla Milagros Hugueto de Sánchez.
Welcome to this amazing podcast de Mente y Corazón, produced and designed by Profe de Mente y Corazón and Mr. Sanchez. So today I'm going to be telling you about recently celebration we had on campus. But first of all, I'm going to tell you, please follow us on Instagram, subscribe here on YouTube, comment, share, like, and then stay tuned because more things are happening, more new things, and you don't want to miss them at all. So I was telling you that on today's episode, I'm going to tell you about the Continental Festival. It was in my heart since I became a language teacher here at the Olympic High School. And then I found out that I teach a diverse community. So in my classroom, I could have kids from Vietnam, Cote d'Ivoire, the Ivory Coast, Honduras, Brazil, and then I will be the connection between the curriculum and what they are communicating. So in this case, they are learning Spanish with me, and with my colleague, they are learning French. So, well, sometimes they speak Spanish only, and then I am like their support, and then I can help them because we speak the same language. However, when it comes to supporting kids from other backgrounds and with who speak other languages, I have to address those students who already speak that English and who come from the same background. So I have been building bridges of communication through creativity, arts, education, culture, and I say, well, since we have all this diversity, all these situations, and every time we are talking about arts and culture, they tell me about their traditions, how they celebrate the New Year, how they celebrate their African diaspora, how they celebrate languages and food and traditions again. So I say, let's do something that invites them all. That is why I told you on the title of this podcast that 10 classes were sent to me to the small gym because I used this space. I didn't want to use the big gym, the largest. I wanted to try this as a pilot project, and then I invited just 10 teachers with their classes to come and celebrate diversity. We started planning before spring break, and by we, I mean me, the culture club on campus that I lead, and students from all my 3 blocks. I have 3 blocks, but during my planning period, I happen to support students from other classes. Sometimes, not every single day. So everybody came together, we had a plan, we decided to celebrate diversity, and we included people from all the continents and then and beyond. So we had people from Africa, Asia, Europe, Oceania, America, the Caribbean, and beyond. So the plan was to start with a Spirit Week beginning on Monday, and then finish on Friday with the festival. So every single day of that week, students were going to read announcements for the entire school in different languages. So I had to research who was a fluent Vietnamese speaker who would like to talk to the entire school. because sometimes they are fluent and they are good students and they are, on top of their classes, but they're shy. Or sometimes I have African students who would like to read announcements, but they are not sure if other African people would understand. So we accepted the challenge. We took the microphone in the main office, and then students read announcements for the school, like for registration, for classes after school, the sport programs. Everything was read in Vietnamese, French, Spanish, and English, just for you to have an idea of how beautiful it was to start listening to your own language through a system that everybody's listening to, and then be able to feel that connection. Okay, good. So we started the plan. I reached out to one of my Vietnamese students, and she was the leader. She reached out to like 7 more girls, and then at the same time they told me who was the boy who was able to read announcements, because he was very fluent and he was from the capital city in Vietnam. And then I reached out to my African students. I work directly to them because they are artists and they exhibit their artwork in my exhibitions that I do for the community. So that was the planning. Talking to them, looking for them, going to classrooms, asking for permission to let them come to my classroom. And then I have a plan I elaborated to do this Spirit Week and the Continental Festival. I'll be sharing that with you on a PDF I'm putting together. It's going to be a quick steps to follow. But if you want the whole plan in detail, I'll have it for you on my website, and you can get it for a donation to continue growing this community and this culture club for my students. Okay, so students came during homeroom. I asked for permission so they could come like 3 times, and then they will catch up on their missing assignments. We rehearsed dances, poems, different performances, emceeing, and more, DJing. It was a very packed planning, because it was me, my team, and a group of willing students. They were very willing to participate, but at the same time they are teenagers, so I had to deal with insecurity or with teacher, I don't think I'm gonna make it. I'm struggling with public speaking. So they did it. Okay, let me throw the end and spoil it for you. They did it, and they did it very well. I was so proud. I tried not to cry because I was there in front, guiding everything and my makeup, And well, Monday we read announcements in English and Spanish. Tuesday we read announcements in Vietnamese, Spanish, and English. Then Wednesday in French, Vietnamese, Spanish, and English. And then Thursday we just did English and Spanish again, because the biggest populations are English speakers and Spanish speakers. That was for the Spirit Week. So every day had a theme in which they were going to dress certain ways, certain jerseys, in traditional colors or attires from their countries. And you will see more of this on that material I put together for you. Then on Friday, first block, I took my first block is an SNS class, Spanish for native speakers. All of them speak Spanish. All of them come from Spanish speaking families. Some of them were born in here, but they are fluent in Spanish. So I took them all to the auditorium and we started decorating, okay, to make this a diverse, welcoming environment. And I have a lot of good stuff I will show you. Then we finished first block. They went to the second block. I went back to my classroom. I grabbed my students from the second block, checked attendance and came back to the gym. We finished decorating, and we built a wall in which they did posters from different continents, and in every continent they were supposed to choose a couple of countries. So that's part of the project. I have to tell you about that as well, because everything it has to be educational, cultural, creative, and artistic. So after that, we finished decorating. I sent them back to homeroom. That day we didn't rehearse because they had been rehearsing days before, and it was a lot of work putting together a festival in 3 weeks. OMG. They are amazing. I did it because of them. Of course, I brought the ideas, the structure, the checklist, the program, but I made it possible. They made it possible. I made it possible because of them. So in the meantime, some of them suggested bringing candy from their countries. So you will see, I will show you some pictures afterwards with candy from Vietnam, from Africa, Central America, North America, South America, the Caribbean. And then at the end of the festival, they pass it to those 10 classes who show up to my class, who became my class, a whole new big class, diverse and beautiful and together, and they try different candy from different parts of the world. Okay, so we started the program with the JROTC group of students, the military people. They did a flag parade with color guard. It was amazing. But then I invited the EC, the extension kids, EC department, exceptional children, to participate. So they marched with the JROTC. And then they were very, proud of doing that part, because that was the opening. That was the opening of the ceremony. And then we transitioned to having the cheerleading team conformed by mostly African American girls, and the teacher, the coach, was incredible, and the outfit and everything was so beautiful, so neat. Going back to JROTC, they are formed by Hispanic students, Caucasians, African American, and Asian. And going on the program, so continuing with it, I remember I was reading the program, but I had 2 MCs, 2 ladies, one from El Salvador, one from Honduras, and 1 gentleman from Jamaica. And they were in charge of presenting the performances. And I'm not gonna skip the best part, which is explaining to you the beauty of this preparation. So I'm going to give you this part with how it was to ask for permission with administration, the principal, letting everybody know what was happening on campus. Why is my student missing today for 10 minutes? And then making passes for everybody. I'm telling you, I'm a little bit exhausted because it was a lot of work. That administrative part, my students couldn't do. So I had to check. Now, because of that, I took control of some situations that were taking place, like some of my students were not submitting their assignments. So teachers say, but if she comes to rehearse, she's not going to be doing their work. And I say, they will do it. I promise they will. So today I'm recording this and I'm checking that my students are submitting their work and everything is completed before this week, because we're almost done with the school year. 4 more weeks and we're done. Okay, so in order for you to be aware of what's happening next, please, on the next episode, be sure that you show up and then you watched every detail of the artistic program, how my students prepare, my Asian delegation, my African delegation, my South American delegation, my Central American delegation, my Caribbean delegation, and how they all came together. I had also a North American delegation that was led by Miss Roundtree with a line dance. You are gonna love it. It is possible, teachers. We can create a very welcoming, diverse atmosphere at our schools because we already have the students, we already have the kids. What else shall we do? So I'm gonna say, see you later. I'll continue on part 2 of this theme in which my students became 10 classes and a celebration of diversity, a continental festival developed by students, for students, and of course supervised by this human being, Profe de Mente y Corazón. Please follow us on Instagram as Profe de Mente y Corazón. Subscribe, share, comment, like, and stay tuned. I'm here for you. A lot of things are happening and I don't want you to miss them. See you soon.
La Profe de Mente y Corazón. Out. Nos vemos en el próximo episodio.